Good morning, everyone. Okay. Standard question. All of you had breakfast? What did you eat? Huh? Pongal? Huh? Anybody vada pav? No. Bread and jam? No. Right. Anybody left breakfast? Like somebody who is so serious about studies, no? I will leave breakfast. No. No one is like that, right? Only after becoming topper you might say that sometime. So I used to study for 20 hours. Right. Yes. So I used to write exam even when like I was full of fever, I was hot, full of fever. So today's session is about what? So what was the topic actually? Huh? Countering. Conquering Prelims. Okay. So we'll launch course also like Conquer Prelims. It's a paid course later. So it is a session where I would like to address few issues that most of the people who gave prelims in 2022 and when they didn't clear, they started coming to my cabin again, wasting my tissue papers. So if somebody had attended previous session, you know that. So the issue of tissue papers. What is it? What? Yeah, tell no, like sorry, I won't reveal your name. So whenever you fail, it makes you cry, right? Right? Yeah. So it makes people take it too personal that why did I fail? Right? So I put all my hard work. I really prepared very well, but even then something went wrong and I failed in the examination. So I have seen people who have failed in consecutive, like 3 prelims, 4 prelims, 5 prelims, 6. One guy I met, 8 prelims. I'll tell you a story. Like 8 prelims he had failed. So till 2020 prelims. So then he decided he will quit the examination. So he didn't give 21 and then he started working. For entire 1 year, he didn't study anything. Right? He never touched a book, he never wrote an answer, he didn't touch his optional, he never wrote any essay. But then the 9th attempt, last attempt, he felt, so let me just give it a try. I need a closure. Without any preparation, he went and wrote 2022 prelims and he cleared. Right? He came for essay evaluation and his essay was very bad. Right? So that made me thinking. So I keep telling people, you might have heard my previous sessions also, don't get attached with the examination. So don't focus too much on outcomes. Right? Love the process. Get attached with the process. So focus on the process. Be passionate about the process. The process is nothing but what you are doing on day-to-day basis. But when somebody suddenly got detached, right, and then went with the only intention of getting a closure that I should not live with a regret that I didn't give one more attempt. So when they gave that attempt, he cleared. So can you give me 1 or 2 reasons why he might have cleared that prelims? No pressure. Okay. Then he was ready for both. He was ready for both the outcomes. Detachment. Yes, all of you are right. Can you think of any more reasons? So why did he clear apart from these things? He didn't prepare for 1 year. Okay. But again he didn't prepare for 1 year. And on the other hand, you have that that other part of the iceberg, right? So where people put lots of efforts, right? They studied day in and out, they did hundreds of mocks, and then they were not able to clear it. I know like very few people who used to be regular with getting feedback, and they used to come with their essays answers regularly. They are too good in mains. If they clear prelims, they are directly into like top 50. So that is the level of their preparation. But somehow that too much attachment with the result, somehow I have to clear this attempt. For this attempt is do or die. I have to clear it at any cost, right? So they put so much of efforts, they have done everything, but even then what happens is in those 2 hours everything changes. Even a small disturbance, small irritating factor totally unsettles them, and then they fail in the examination, right? So let us start this session now, right? So can somebody define the word preliminary? I want exact definition. So you have heard so many times prelims, preliminary exam, right? You have read so many big books. Every day you see, prelims, prelims. What exactly is the meaning of the word preliminary?
Preliminary expenses means at the time of incorporation, whatever the expenses will spend, those are preliminary expenses. If you, in UPSC perspective,
Okay, can we save tax on that?
yeah, we can.
Thanks. So he is saying something related to tax, like preliminary accounting.
Even if you think from the UPSC perspective also, it's a base. So if you don't know, exactly what UPSC is expecting and directly entering into the main.
Okay. So by now somebody has seen in the Google. So tell me. So what is the meaning of word preliminary? So we have to understand the word, right? So we have to understand the meaning of the word. So if you really want to see some progress. So what does it mean? So you can say yes. It's a elimination round. Like just the meaning of word preliminary, not from UPSC perspective. Initial stage for what? So I will read, okay, preceding or done in preparation for something fuller or more important. The meaning of the word preliminary is preceding or done in preparation for something fuller or more important. So you are preparing for something more important, right? So preliminary is not more important. So there is something more important than preliminary, but the preliminary examination is actually testing that preparation for the entire examination, which is more important, which comes in the mains and in interview stage. But now what has happened is that the preliminary itself is taken as the final stage. People get obsessed with that. Have you ever given thought about this, right? So when you fail for one attempt, second attempt, even if you are a fresher, so I have seen many people lacking in ambition saying that I want to crack prelims in my first attempt. So there are few people who definitely say that I want to crack entire examination, but somewhere when they start preparing, they start thinking preliminary examination as a very big hurdle, right? So first of all, before starting your preparation, you have to remove this thinking from your mind that preliminary examination is a big hurdle, preliminary is getting difficult, preliminary is getting more uncertain. That thought you must remove. So to remove that thought, you have to see examination as one unit combined with preliminary, mains and interview as one unit. So that is most important. So now I will come to that point, how to do that, how to go about that. So I will be giving you certain tasks to do for next 1 year, right? So I always think little big, right? So and I give tougher tasks to do. And 25 days before prelims, I took a session in Delhi, and I gave certain ambitious tasks to people. So I said do 400 questions, right? every day. If you, I told even if you haven't done so much, you can still go on to crack the exam provided you do certain things. So some people did 200, 300 questions. Even now I am receiving messages that like I did 300 questions in a day and I was able to sail through. It may be other reason, but somehow they are attaching their success to this also. But I firmly believe that this actually works, right? So in the course of this session, I will be giving you certain tasks. But before that, what is most important is understanding the nature of the examination, understanding the demand of the examination. Now, the demand of the examination keeps changing year after year. Now, what is the demand of the examination? What is the current demand of the examination? It used to be there, but now we are seeing it explicitly played out in the way questions are set, in the way the examination is being conducted, the way we are seeing the papers, the way we are seeing the interview process taking place. So, what is the demand? Okay, crux of every topic and grip on every basics, then something more than that? Application? Very good. Application of mind. So, we can say it as application of mind. That is one demand. Then ready to face uncertainty. Good. Ability to analyze. Very good. Knowing what's going on around you. Good. Then conceptual clarity. Then interlinking. Okay, as part of application of mind, concepts, analysis, interlinking. Okay. Then presence of mind. Very good. Very good. Aptitude skill. See, like you people are so intelligent. Like everybody knows, right? So I tweeted recently that most people know what to do. Here, those who come to talk, they actually know what to do. It's just that they want somebody to listen, and maybe validate also that what you are doing is right. Only UPSC related things, right? Not UPSC related things. So good. So the presence of mind, right? And then application skills, analytical ability, conceptual clarity, and the grip on basics, strong foundation, and then he said interlinking things, which is part of analysis. Now, how is it being tested? So, how are we seeing that? How is it getting manifested? Like, how many of you gave prelims this year? Okay, good. So, how many of you are thinking of giving it next year? Everyone, right? It's a nonsense question. It depends on the session. Like if I scare you, you won't give next year, right? If I encourage you, motivate you, then maybe you will go on to give it next year. Somebody might quit also. Like, huh? Yeah, somebody might quit the journey and become part of inside sales. Right. So ours is like Dharma Chatra, like inside. So we did felicitation function day before yesterday, and we had one of the largest gathering of toppers. So it's easy to claim 170, 180, some like 250 also, right? But from all parts of India, toppers came to Bangalore, like 123 toppers came, and we are in the process of printing that big photo. The stage was like full, like we made toppers sit on the floor. Can you imagine? So we made them sit on. They actually sat, like they were all very humble. Everyone, all 123 people whom I met, everyone was down to earth, humble. Maybe it's reciprocation, I think, right? The way we treat them, so they were reciprocating. So they were all good. They enjoyed, they partied, and they shared their memories, expressed gratitude. We also did. Because of you, admissions will increase. So So anyway, they were all happy, right? And we also invited some student volunteers. So to ensure that the whole process was smooth. So the students, who are very close to us, some of them whom we see regularly, see the perks of. So they were able to see rank 3, rank 8, rank 12. So there was series of like rank 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. This slot was also there. So they were able to interact with them, see them, get inspiration, motivation, get tips about optional prelims, this and that. So next year when you write 2023 exam, don't become volunteers, right? Somebody who can fill the stage, right? So like right to me and left to me. Right? So we want that photo to be very big. So keeping that in mind, so I am trying to address this session. So whenever I say something, the only intention is that you have to go on to succeed in this examination, right? So there is no other intention. Whatever I am going to tell, I am not here to prove that I am intelligent. I am not here to prove that I am stand-up comedian, right? So I am not here to prove that. So we are like better than others or anything. So the only intention of everything is to help you succeed in this examination. And so that wisdom, that experience has directly come from speaking to hundreds of people. The moment prelims, got over and then prelims result came out, between these two phases, I have spoken to literally thousands of students in the offline mode itself. So if you have come to the cabin, you might have seen that, right? Somebody would scold me and go back like, how much we have to wait, right? So many people. So nobody has scolded, like I'm just assuming, right? So nobody does that actually. So what I got to know is that, right, it all boils down to personalities, right? Your failures, your success in this examination, it all boils down to your attitude and your personality, not so much related to your knowledge, right? So this acquisition of knowledge, getting yourself empowered with knowledge and everything is all depends on your attitude and personality, right? So this I have talked about it in previous sessions also, and this is getting reinforced month after month, year after year. Now I see this sea of students here wherever I go, then I keep wondering like so why only few people succeed and why everyone doesn't succeed? The logical answer is like few seats are there, right? That is one thing, but even then still a competition, right? But we see that some people do hard work and they fail. I have seen in the reading room, some people are like constant. They are doing hard work. They are putting required amount of whatever is required to crack this examination. Even then they don't clear. And there are some smart people also. Smart people, who say that I studied only 7 to 8 hours, and they are clearing this examination. So I have seen both the categories. Now when I say personality is important, now you have to introspect, like you have to understand, right? So there are like so many types of personalities, right? So every year after failures, I see that somebody will come and say that, so I did these mistakes, I have realized my mistakes. So in this past attempt, so those who are going to give first attempt, I think you are able to relate this. So they come and say that I should have done this, I should have done that. So this year, can you please guide me? It can be me or it can be a mentor. They will ask, so can you guide me? And then we will tell you, yes, definitely will guide you, provided you have the patience, right? You have the perseverance, right? The most important attitude, if you are willing to learn, if you are willing to learn from your mistakes, and if you are willing to approach us, leaving aside all your ego, everything, definitely we will guide you. So again, Felicitation, I was speaking to like group of toppers, Karnataka toppers, like invited them for a tea. So everyone was familiar, right? So those who came, they didn't become familiar after the result. Before over the period of 3-4 years, they were all familiar. And then I told you what is differentiating you from others who are not able to make, barring exceptions, is that you kept your ego aside, right? One or two of them were arrogant before, right? Later they became humble. So they started coming and they identified their core weaknesses, problems, and they started seeking guidance and they started working on them. So they became familiar in the process of seeking guidance. It can be preliminary examination, it can be mains, it can be interview, within mains, essay or ethics, whichever paper it is that. So they were able to change their personality in a sense that just they wanted to learn. This attempt, I wanted to learn or unlearn certain things and then go on to succeed in this examination. So that is one major factor that must be there in all of you, that willingness to learn, irrespective of what you are going through. That willingness to learn is very important, because I see people, they don't want to come, they don't want to wait, they don't have the patience, they wait for few minutes and they go back, they will say I will come another day. And some people come with one essay this week, next if I give negative feedback or if I say that there is so much to improve, they will not come back again. So there was this one person who has given like 7 mains, 5 interviews, 7 mains, 5 interviews, and he used to come say that sir, please help me, like I would like to improve. So we would have a conversation, but he would never come back for another mock. So first 2 mocks he got around 130s, something like that. So first 2 interviews 130s. So third he said, no, this time I have to improve, I'll come. He gave 1 mock, so I pointed out mistakes, he didn't come. So another 2 years, like he totally vanished. So this year interview, it was like do or die kind of attempt. So I was in Delhi, he came, like somebody convinced him, at least this time you go. So he came, he gave 1 mock and I was able to clearly identify what were the mistakes. You have to address them. So 1 mock will not help, come back again. No, we will work on that, like 7, 8 mocks. He didn't come back and he is again not in the list. The interview score again came down. So then again kept wondering, like why people do this. So what could be the reasons? What? Ego. Then fear of low marks, fear of negative feedback. Then what? Arrogance maybe. Then anybody know here that you are arrogant? Anybody? Can you raise your hands? You are arrogant to somewhat. Good. So you are humble, like you raised your hands. Accepted. Anybody with, what is the word, bloated or bloated? Bloated ego. Right? Anybody with so much bloated ego that anything small remark will hurt you? Small score, I mean the less score will hurt you immediately. If somebody pinpoints a mistake in you that you get hurt, you believe that what you are doing is right. You always believe that you are in the right direction. Like I know everything. I'll sit in my room. I'll do it myself. I'll study. I know things. The topper copy Shruti Sharma. I can write better than her. Right? Content in nahi, like I say topper. Some people do actually say that. Right? Some people say I can write better than her. Some people have that. Right? So these are all factors which will eventually lead to failure, whether it is in prelims, mains, right? You must be wondering, like we came for a tricks here and he's again talking about personality. But as I said, that understanding has reinforced. This is, if you don't address this part, right? If you don't address this part, there is very less chance that you are going to crack. And even if you crack without addressing this part, I don't think you will succeed in your career. Not mains. The interview, of course, interview is there, right? So they will catch you there. So let's start with CSAT paper. Have you heard about CSAT? No? So you have heard it, right? So tell me honestly, I'll ask you one question, just one question. Honestly, how many of you so far solved a full length CSAT paper. Those were given to you first attempt in 2023. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are going to give attempt in 2023 for the first time. How many of you solved a full length CSAT paper? So can I ask what is stopping you from solving a CSAT paper? Again, be honest and give me reasons. So don't tell me that coaching is not over, right? So I have to study my optional. What is the exact reason? Can you introspect deeply and say, I'll tell the significance of CSAT, like how important it has become now, right? But before that, I want to know why you haven't given. You can come and sit here. Come. D boss. Huh? So D is written, so he's so happy. Yes. Can somebody tell me, like, why you haven't given any full length CSAT paper? It's time consuming, right? Yes, very good. It's time consuming. Then you don't have confidence. Yes. Very good. So that is the honest answer. It's negligence, indifference, right? You're not at all thinking about it actually, because you are engineer, right? Yeah? You are a dentist, medical graduate, BSc, commerce, right? So I know CAs who have repeatedly failed. I know IIT integrated mathematics 5-year course, they have failed. I know doctors from Bangalore Medical College, AIMS, who have failed in CSAT, right? So I know people with mathematics optional who have failed in CSAT. No, I mean really, actually, it's no more a joke actually. People with maths optional, electrical, mechanical, they have failed in CSAT. The one and only reason they have failed is that it's not because they lack aptitude, it's because they never thought about it, they ignored it totally. What they would have done, those who are given prelims, again for you, I'll ask you a question and I know the answer. So before preliminary examination, how many full length CSAT papers you solved? The answers is always less than 10, mostly 3, 4, 5. Am I right? Yes or no? Anybody who has solved 30 CSAT papers, full length? You failed. Okay. So only one hand. So mostly less than 10, that too when 1 month or 2 months before preliminary examination. So not from now, right? So first, again that I will attach to the personality thing, right? In the beginning, you have to treat this examination as one unit, the constituent of which is CSAT also. Now I have just made like this theory, right? That why CSAT paper is getting tougher. Not tougher, it's kind of making uncertain, increasing the weightage either in aptitude or reducing it in comprehension, making comprehension questions more abstract, something like that. So I have spoken to many people, they are saying whoever was there in the 70 to 75 bracket and who attempted more passages, everyone is failing in CSAT papers. They were thinking I would clear, like 70 to 75 marks is coming, but they have attempted most of comprehension questions and most of them haven't cleared the examinations. So because the questions are a bit subjective, right? So there is no like clear cut, because two options are really very close. The UPSC key may be saying something else, all of our keys may be something different. So now you have to start, if you are serious about 2023, so if you can just note it down, right? I am not going to give a formula, I am going to tell you what to do for CSAT. So you have to do two things for CSAT irrespective of how intelligent you are. I know people who used to score 130 have come down to 80s and 90s, right? It will take only 2 lines to write, but still you have to write, right? Whenever I speak, nobody notes down anything, I don't know why. Like, Either they treat me as comedian or I speak so well that you are all lost. Like, so that is not the case. Yes. God. Right. So now the problem is CSAT. I'm poor in mathematics, right? My aptitude is weak, so I have to attend the classes. I have to learn from textbooks and all. So this fear is there, right? So now you have to address that fear. People fail in CSAT mainly because of two reasons. One, they have ignored it. They are good in it, they have ignored it. Another reason is they have practiced, but because of the fear. They practice more, but still the fear is there. The moment you are stuck in one problem, that fear, gets bigger and affects the whole performance. These are the two reasons. So now you have to address the fear factor, plus you have to improve your aptitude also, right? Now how will you do that? Now the people will tell you the strategy is you people think that no, I will enroll for a CSAT course, right? I will watch CSAT videos so that I learn the tricks, I'll get to know the formulas, I'll get to know the shortcuts of solving the problems. So now there is nothing wrong in doing that, but doing only that, attending classes, solving random one or two questions, right? Then assuming that no, yeah, you got to know, how to solve this train problem, water problem, some like different problems. So I am also very weak in this thing. So now that is not the strategy, right? How will you improve your skills? How will you remove your fear? And how will you prepare yourself to face uncertainty? The formula is you have to develop the ability to what? So all are excited now. What is this? Right. So starting this week, right? I mean tomorrow is Sunday. Every week solve 2 full-length CSAT papers. Once in 3 days. If your fear is bigger, once in 2 days. A full-length CSAT paper, doesn't matter. You are going through 6 hours of classes, doesn't matter. You have so much to do with optional, your core batch student, whatever it is. Don't ignore this suggestion. 2 full-length CSAT papers, take from any source, right? Full-length papers. So take from any source. It can be our test series, another test series. You people know like where to download all these things, right? Creating so much loss for us. So download from all those sources. Take printouts. And if you want OMRs, we can give you OMRs. Those who are here in Bangalore, come and ask OMR sheets from inside SIS. Okay. All these full-length CSAT test, give it from a classroom, right? Just go into any class. People will be very happy if you go to some classroom. Finally, students are coming. So go to any classroom, sit for 2 hours amidst all the disturbances that are happening. Solve the paper only for 2 hours. Don't take even 1 minute extra. 2 hours. I know that you may not be knowing the formula, right? You may not be knowing how to solve this problem. Basic mathematics you have forgotten. It's fine. Apply your mind, right? Apply your common sense, right? Apply your thinking. That is the only way you develop aptitude and remove the fear. And now after solving the paper, the solution will be there, right? So through reverse way, whatever problems you got stuck, whatever problems you read all the problems, right? So you solve them, you learn them. It's not like solving this 2-hour paper and leaving it. You have to solve it and then spend 2 to 3 more hours. It's very important. Earlier I was telling about one theory. Like the theory is that now let's say all of you go to Labasna, like for training. Now every year Labasna comes up with a report. They create a detailed report based on the research and the toppers. Research in the sense, the profiling, like they know about the toppers, your background, engineer or whatever it is, something like that. Like I'm 100% sure that they also know about your aptitude skills. Even after becoming topper, if you are not able to solve a basic mathematics problem, right, basic data interpretation, right? So where that skill is very much important as an administrator, right? Definitely that feedback will go to UPSC or the government DOPT, right? So the exam evolves based on the, the mentality, based on the, the profile of the toppers, based on the them also, you also, those who do not make it, the way coaching industry prepares you for the examination through rote learning and other things, giving you notes and telling you that do only these. You might have seen, I'll give you 500 topics, for 500 topics the questions will come. Somebody, if they rely only on that, you imagine what happens, right? So now this research keeps on going. So they always want to stay one step ahead in terms of getting better administrators to the country, not in terms of scaring you, eliminating you, nothing like that. It is not through design or intention, that bad intention they are trying to make exam more uncertain or anything. They want more capable administrators. So you have to be good in quantitative aptitude, quant. There is no shortcut. So just don't, you have to be good in comprehension also. Of course, that is so much important. All big reports you have to read in few minutes, right? Create summary, and then you have to go through so much of data, stats, and send the summary. So the skills are very important. You need to be good in both, but people rely only on either one of the two things. I am good in quant, I will, so they'll make it bit tougher than it used to be. So I will rely only on the passage, and then they will make it tough, or they will reduce the number of passages. So now you are forced to prepare for both. So there is no shortcut, there is no alternative. So through this approach, we can address the fear, the uncertainty. When you give, so let's say 2 papers per week. By the time April or May, how many papers? How many CSAT? It's a CSAT question. How many? 20. How many weeks you have before next prelims? Huh? Around 40 weeks you have. 80 full length CSAT papers, right? Will you do this? See, there are like 1 or 2 exceptions. I know like some people, I mean, they are God gifted. They don't have to do this exercise. They will just go and I've seen people. I know some people 130, 140, even some people scoring 150. Even in this kind of examination, there are like God gifted few individuals. So just salute them and tell them you are extremely good, but they are weak in essay and other things. So you can get some kind of satisfaction, I mean consolation from there. But everyone, we like normal human beings who are sitting here, so do this exercise, right? You will thank me after the examination, after giving next step prelims. When is it? 28th? 28th May, right? So on 28th May evening, you will thank me, because you are not going to fail in CSAT. If you are giving these many tests, 80 full length tests, that is in addition to whatever classes are happening daily, like few questions here and there, YouTube, on the website. If you are doing that, I am 100% sure that any paper, any kind of CSAT paper, you will be scoring 100 plus, right? Like this is for sure. But you have to learn. That learning mindset is important. Now, while giving these CSAT tests, ensure that there is some amount of curiosity, right? Some amount of passion. What will happen after giving like say 15, 20 tests? You start liking them. Now, there are some people who will stop doing them also. So after like 10, 15 tests, it's related to personality. So 10, 15 tests, they will see, yeah, I'm getting like 100 plus now. So let me stop doing this and start focusing on optional answer writing, ethics, other things, right? So don't do that mistake, right? So there is nothing wrong in still further improving, right? the logic is don't leave anything to chance. We don't know, the exam is going to get difficult. CSAT next year again it will be unpredictable, it will be again difficult, right? So through not through rote learning, but through applying your mind, you are sharpening your mind, you are training your mind, right? Not to be afraid, it gets refined, it gets sharp. The more problems you do, you will start developing your own formula, your own skills to solve these problems. Am I right? Do you agree with this? Anybody, anyone has counter argument? No. Doing more full length of CSAT is harmful. Can you counter this? Right? You cannot, because it's only helping you, going to help you, right? It's not going to create stress or anything. If you love solving the problems. So this is one thing. The second thing about the CSAT itself is that when you are solving these papers, again don't make the mistake of doing only again quant. That bias you have to remove, right? You are already decently good in quant, but you are doing only quant. If you are good in quant, do them, but do more of comprehension. Ensure that in both the parts you are really good. So it applies universally. Those who are giving 2023 attempt applies to everyone. Don't ignore this suggestion, right? You will not get a chance to sit, that felicitation. Now second, coming to paper 1, right? So this year what is happening, people are saying that I have scored 90, 95, 100 also, but I am not clearing. So if somebody is saying 75, 80 in CSAT, I am telling it's because of CSAT, not because of paper 1. So there is no way that the cutoff is going to be above 85, right? There is no way, impossible. And I still stick by my prediction, it is going to be around 82 or something, right? So many people don't agree, right? But I have seen this every year, So people say they have scored this much, and because you hear many high scores and you think that entire population has scored really good marks. So it is not the case. The competition, there are so many factors. Now the best bet for your 2023 conquering 2023 prelims is that you have to score 110 plus in paper 1, 100 plus in CSAT, then only peacefully you can prepare for the mains. After prelims, again the mains preparation actually starts from now also, but that is the only way. That should be the target in your mind, imprinted permanently, right? So if you are lacking that ambition, so 110 plus in paper 1, 100 plus in CSAT, then it's not going to help you, right? So it is like somebody somebody who wants to prepare for only UPSC, they will clear KS easily. I have seen that. Somebody who thinks only about KS, they will get into sub-inspector clerical exams, right? Somebody who is thinking only about clerical exam, no, my life, I just have to become SDR, FDI, like first division clerk, assistant. So they will get into group D jobs in the beginning. It's about the way you are thinking, setting high standards within your mind, right? So that should be the ambition. Now how to achieve that? 110 plus in paper 1, irrespective of, I am not going to talk about shortcuts, tricks, no. Even 1 day, 2 day before, I think 2 days before the session, I said don't rely on them. You have to go and apply your mind in that moment. Every question you have to respect, every question has its own demand, you have to respect the question, right? Forget about all the formulas that you have learned. In that moment, think what is the demand of the question, right? So now to do that, you should have prior knowledge, prior exposure to that kind of knowledge, whatever the question is about, right? Now what's the second mistake? The CSAT we talked about. When it comes to preparation, one of the biggest mistake people make is compartmentalizing their preparation, right? So first 3 months I will do optional, right? Till September I will do optional. October, November, December I will do mains preparation. I will make notes and everything. From January onwards I will start prelim preparation. From April onwards I will do CSAT question papers. March onwards I will start doing prelims mock tests, right? This is the mistake which costs you dearly in the examination. As I said, this exam is 1 unit, you have to treat it as 1 unit. So improving in CSAT definitely will improve in some areas of other parts of the examination, maybe quick thinking and other things. Now coming to how to score 110+ in preliminary examination, it purely depends on one and only factor. What is that? What? In paper 1. Revision, having strong basics, strong concepts, good. But the exam has evolved now, right? The questions are deep, the options are so close, right? It depends on, it's directly proportional to, in the minus that factor, the mindset, the fear factor. Preparation wise, it is directly proportional to the number of answers you write. The number of GS answers you write about paper GS mains 1, 2, 3 will have direct bearing on your prelims score, right? So it can be answer writing or it can be deep understanding about all the mains topics. Need not be just like writing, but it's about your good preparation in mains GS 1, 2, 3 papers, right? So the good preparation always depends on understanding concepts, as you were saying, ability to apply that knowledge, right, through answer writing. So for all the topics and subtopics in GS paper 1, 2, 3, you should first have notes, right? You can make notes or you can collect notes. Second, on them you should have good understanding, deeper understanding of the concepts. Third, if you want to remember them from long term till next year prelims and mains, you have to write, do 2 things: daily answer writing and then full length tests of GS 1 to 3 starting from now, right? Or it can be full like sectional test also, like GS 1 half test, something like that, but 20 question tests coming to classroom and writing them. Now can somebody tell me the logic behind this argument, that when I say you have to do answer writing, you have to be good in all GS 1 to 3, that will get you. Again, in prelim there are 2 category of students: somebody who doesn't write answer, but over the years they have accumulated so much knowledge, right? When you minus the fear factor, using common sense, they can still do well, applying skills, right? But majority of the people want to apply the knowledge, for sure they want to know this is the answer, right? You want to use their intuition. So what is intuition? The voice that tells you, this is the right thing to do, right, in the beginning. So to strengthen that, you have to practice more. Somewhere in subconscious level, that knowledge should be hidden somewhere, right? That inner voice will speak for itself, will speak for that knowledge component. When you are completely calm and relaxed in the examination, you have to trust it. So to strengthen that, you have to start writing answers from now. So for freshers who are still undergoing coaching, my recommendation, write 2 secure answers every day, right? And weekly basis in Mission 2023 we are giving, like, if you don't want to spend money, don't want to join test series, IPM, core batch or anything, then we are giving like 10 questions something. So you can combine those 10 questions with another 10 secure question, make a 20 question paper, and spend 3 hours in a week to write. Or it can be once in 10 days. In the beginning, it can be once in 15 days as well, right? Like if you are really scared about the things. So slowly you can increase the frequency. That is one option. So if you have somebody like who have completed coaching, completed optional, it's better to go with a year-long test series, right? It can be from Insights or it can be from any other institution, but better to join a test series. So we have something called IPM also. So it is up to you. The reason is that coming to classroom, taking the question paper, sitting there for 3 hours, giving that examination will prepare you not only for prelims, right, but also for next year mains. After prelims, I am seeing that the people have this fear, I am not able to complete the paper, right? I'm able to write only 12 answers, 14 answers out of 20 questions in 3 hours. So you have to address that problem also. When you treat entire exam as one unit, you are thinking about mains also, not just prelims, right? Post prelims, what to do? You shouldn't be struggling with certain basic things. So start writing full length papers. Another option, without evaluation. If you don't want to spend money, you can just download these question papers. I will, IPM, core batch, right? Come to classroom and for example, I will test series, like for 200 rupees, we have given I will test series without evaluation. So they can come to classroom, take question paper, take synopsis, right? Write it in the classroom. So don't attach money. Money is not an issue. It is about your personality, your willingness, right? Your determination. It takes lots of guts. It's not as easy as I'm telling it here. To come and write these tests regularly till next February, March, it takes lots of guts, toughness from within. So that is why personality is important, right? For me, it is very easy to tell, and it will 100% work. It will 100% work in your case, right? But how many people do this? Very few people. So like 1,000 odd people enrolled for IPM in the beginning when we launched. Can you guess how many people might have written all the IPM tests? There are around 50 to 55 IPM mains tests. So we told that if you write all IPM tests, we will give you free free entire main test series, we will give it for free. So any idea out of 1,000 people how many claimed free I will? Any numbers? 100? 15? 50? What? 30? 0? So optimistic. Right. No, it was 5 people. Out of 1,000 people who invested their money, and we were sending reminders also, right? So we are not afraid of that evaluation. If some people come for mentorship, guiding them, even if it takes time, we'll spend time. So we want you, as I said, we want you to succeed, right? That is the principle. But even then, when we were motivating, I kept doing these sessions for core batch also, monthly basis. So somehow the number dropped to 50%, but 50% were there. And I'm so happy to say that majority of them have cleared prelims. Those who were there in the last year core batch. So anybody who was, they tell 100, 110, right? One is their consistency, their hard work, and they were able to write so many tests, right? Till April, many people wrote, and so all the familiar faces, everyone has cleared. And for them, I used to remind every month, CSAT, don't ignore. Like since last October, September, from October, I used to tell them, CSAT, don't ignore, do it. So I think some of them did it, so they have cleared it. So it is not about money or anything, it's about, again, you ask yourself, be sincere, be honest about it, right? I am addressing the majority of the people here, right? Not like those 5 people. Got it? So now around 250 people here, another 250 online, I don't know how many are watching. So if it is 600, 700 people, it is again less than 10 people who are so pumped up, they will do it. That question always remains, why others will not do it? It's not about cannot do it, will not do it, right? So many excuses you will find in the process, right? The moment any excuse comes to your mind, you have to keep it aside, do what is important. See, the things I am telling you are not something which is going to make you fail in the exam, right? Does answer writing? No, right? Giving tests, coming to classroom? No, right? It's going to empower you, it is going to improve your abilities. Practice, right? If I have to sum everything, it boils down to practice, right? So I have seen people improving essays, those who would write 1 or 2 pages in the beginning would go on to write excellent essays. And I have seen closely people, And I have helped people, who would score 59 in the mains, in previous mains, in the essay paper out of 250, would go on to score 159 by writing like around 40 essays in the span of 2.5 months. It's about willpower, right? So I've seen people, scoring 80s, 90s, improving score to 140s, and first time mains, those who would start like saying, I'm from Kannada medium, I didn't know how to write. I would force them to write 1 or 2 pages, that they would go on to score 130, 140 in the actual exam, right? It's all about your personality. It comes down to that, right? GS1, answer writing is important, don't ignore it. So you can do 2 secure answers, and once in 10 days or once in a week, full length paper. So you form a group of 2 to 3 people, right? 2 to 3 like-minded who are constructive, positive, right? And I have seen in discussions also, like when people form groups, it's always about having an upper hand, right? That I know more, you know less, right? So don't have that ego problem. The ego is the issue, right? Right. If you just like put it down and then you can become whatever you want. So have a healthy discussion, right? So you come and because you cannot go alone to gym, right? So anybody gym people here? Bodybuilders? I have tried many times. Alone I cannot go. So I have changed so many gyms, like 5 years ago stopped wasting money in gyms, like would go like 1 week alone, like you need somebody to kick you out of your bed and then come, let's go. It's very normal. For ordinary people, I mean normal human beings is the problem. But there are extraordinary people, like maybe already their body is good or something like. So have a group of people who will force you, who will push you to do wonders, who will push you to come to the class, do it. It's good to it's better to have that. So don't try to do alone everything, right? And in some cases it can be parents also, right? Very few cases, right? Where parents will motivate you, parents will keep a tab on you, will ask you, so you have test tomorrow, go and write it. So I've seen them also, and most of them have cleared actually, where parents are supporting their children, and not like interfering. They'll tell, okay, you have test, go and give. You have a problem here, go and ask guidance or something. So those kind of students have cleared. So do this. If you enroll to IPM, write every test. If you decide to write test every week based on main self-study, continue to do it. It is not going to harm even if you write till March or April also. It's all integrated. The more you write, the better you get in prelims. The second factor is whatever timetable you are following. So let's say as a OGP you are doing polity classes right now, right? Let's say as an IPM student you are doing art and culture test, you are preparing for that. As a core batch you may be doing geography, or self-study you have your own timetable, you are doing some other subject. So related to that subject you have to do 2 things. One, take 20 to 25 years of prelims question papers, not 5, not 10 years, minimum 20 years, right? 20 years of question papers. So if you are studying geography, last 20 years geography questions, static questions, right? So let's say your timetable is for 1 week or 10 days or like 1 month. If it is OGP, 1 month you are doing the classes. So every day starting now, do at least 30 to 40 MCQs. It takes hardly half an hour, right? To do 30 questions, maximum let's say 1 hour also. So now people will ask, no, I have to analyze, to make notes and all. Don't worry about it. Just glance through. Anyway, you are learning geography in the class. Here you are applying that knowledge, right? Have this as a second task every day. One is CSAT, second is answer writing, third, this one is daily MCQs. Daily MCQs of at least start with 30 to 40, right? Next 2 months, July and August. From September, increase them to 50 to 60. September, October. From November, 100 questions. November, December, start doing 100 questions in a day. So when you are done with optional, like when you are comfortable with optional, it can be December, it can be January, right? So when you become comfortable with optional, you have completed coaching, notes are ready, right? You are in a position to recall optional. So then slowly increase the number of MCQs, right? Now this logic of the second task I was talking about, one is MCQs, last 20 to 25 years. So I think you get question bank of 20 years, right? That with Mrunal picture, Disha publication, that is there. Second one is previous year mains questions related to, this is like last 10 years. You don't have to go back to like 20 years. Even if it is 5 years, that is also fine. So you don't have to write answers to these questions, but at least prepare either notes or a framework or a structure for these questions. At least go through them multiple times, so that when you are listening to class, when you are solving MCQ, you know that one of the MCQ can be an example to this mains answer, right? Both complement each other. You will get hundreds of examples from MCQs when you are trying to write mains answers. Another one is never miss our current affair quiz. Not a single day. There are how many questions we are posting current affairs? So you are not visiting our website regularly. There are 20 questions. 5 daily current affairs, 10 RTM, 5. There is one of the QED editorial, right? So there are 5 static questions, right? Dart, are we posting CSAT questions? No. So we will resume it, right? From Monday we will resume it. So these current affair quiz and static quiz, especially current affairs quiz, almost every topper I have spoken to have been fan of these current affairs questions. So this year who were regular with our current affair questions had an upper hand in this year prelims, because suddenly many questions were current affairs related. So now what you need to do, you have to start from the 2022 January compilations, right? So from today onward, do the current questions, but parallelly if you can do like 5-10 questions from January compilations. So don't keep it pending for next year, like January after. January current affair quiz compilations from this year, like insights quiz compilations. One compilation, like if it is 5 questions every day, it will have around 120 questions in a monthly compilations. RTM will have more questions, right? QED will have again another 100 questions. So around like 6 to 7,000 questions or more than that you are getting from this source, all the current affair questions. Got it? So this one you have to compulsorily do it. So this will again complement whenever you are writing secure answers. Some of the examples from these current affair quizzes, you will find gems like examples, data, stats, map questions, places, events, personalities to quote, so many things, right? So that is why you have to treat it as one unit. So this is must, so that it is balanced. So you are doing static questions on day-to-day basis. Now let us calculate the hours. Now you might be wondering, I am asking you to do so many things, right? So number of hours to do like 20 current affair questions, how much time it takes? Be honest, you tell me. Let's say 45 minutes or 1 hour. Let's assume 1 hour. So to do 30 to 40 MCQs, 1 hour, 2 hours for quiz daily. To write 2 secure answers, for a completely beginner it might take 2 to 3 hours, but persist with it. Eventually it will drop to less than 1 hour. So that is like 3 hours, right? And then to read, for test series or whatever, like to write mains answers based on the subject you are currently reading, at least 4 hours. So if it is geography or polity, like daily like 3 to 4 hours for that. So around 7 hours, right? So assume that you are attending classes for 3 to 4 hours. So 10 hours gone in that. So now remaining 2 to 3 hours, if you are not attending class, you have like 4 to 5 hours. If you are attending class, you have like 2 to 3 hours. So that is for optional, right, every day, right. So when you are doing once in a 3 days CSAT paper, one of this can be minus, right, optional can be for tomorrow. I mean, you can minus optional for that day, but CSAT you must accommodate. You don't have to do it every day like optional. So what to do in optional? For 2023, now to get a rank, you need to be good in, very good in optional, ethics, essay and interview marks. So GS 1 to 3 people more or less, have similar marks, like the toppers, except top 10, others have almost similar marks in GS 1 to 3 papers. So now you have to be good in ethics, essay, optional answer writing, and then eventually like interview personality also. If you are looking for a top 10, top 20 rank, are you looking for that? So how many of you are confident? Very good. So others, we'll see after CSAT. Huh? What? So you're not confident? See, it starts with the dream. So I used to dream we wanted to be number one. What? The institute. Like when I started with 40 students, so I had that dream. Like I started with that dream, not like number one or anything, kind of better. Still in the process. There's long way to go. There is no end, right? So what is perfect? Nobody knows. What is better? What is number one? Nobody knows. It's a process. Nobody is perfect. So, but that ambitious thinking is important. Starts with that kind of dream. Like somebody had planted this dream. In my first batch, there was a student. So he was from West Bengal, IIT Kharagpur. So one day while walking, I used to be alone, living in a small room at that time. So so walk back with few students. So one day, his name is Bhiman Ghosh. I don't know what is he doing right now. So he said so I want to see your board, next to Vajiram, like big inside size board, next to Vajiram or something. So it was like in 2014, around June, July, I think. So that had sat in my head. That visualization, the Maruti Medicals, there is one shop. So while going in front of it, said like, that board. So I want to see yours. Like at that time he was fan. I don't know now. Like, so he said, I want to see inside says board like that. That thought was there. I don't know. So when we were searching for a premises in Delhi, when we went there, like I was also like apprehensive, little scared, like whether we would do well. We had rented a small space, and then when the response was very good, so we thought we'll go for a bigger space. So we were searching. I don't know. This thought was always there. But I'm not mad about that. It should be in front of next to it. So we wanted a space, but something conspired, something helped. So next to Vajiram building. So we recently put another big board like. No, like if you from our window, no, you can stretch hand, and if your hand is little bit lengthier, you can touch the hands of the girl, Or if you're a boy, Vajiram institution, right? So that is how we are very close now. So that was possible only because of dream. Somebody planted it. I am planting it in you now, right? Think big, visualize it, right? It's not a like typical motivational speak. I don't know. I'm not talking about it. The things you watch in YouTube, again and again and again. Right? It's not like that. It actually happens. So when you think big and prepare yourself for that, enhance your capabilities, right? You empower yourself, improve your skills. Somehow that happens. How and why I don't know, but it happens. It favors. For that I have a very nonsense theory. Would you like to hear? Right. So the theory is something about time, right? So I haven't read it anywhere, I haven't heard it anywhere, I just thought about it, I made it up. So it's something about time. So I treat time as something, a living entity. time as a living entity, right? So which is watching us, kind of, which has its own consciousness, not conscience, consciousness, kind of dimension. So if you are kind to time, if you treat time really well, if you respect time, right, if you value time, somehow the time helps you, right? It's kind of, basic values about. So we forget that from our day-to-day things, there is something called time, right? So we don't think about it actually, right? So like how do you think about it? So I live by this dictum, like tomorrow I don't know what is going to happen. So when you are alive, be kind to everyone. Don't quarrel with, in family also. Be kind to children, play with them. When you come to institution, I don't think anybody who has seen me have scolded anyone. No. I got angry on anyone. No. Right. So I consciously try to, it comes like sometimes, get angry, but I maintain silence. So it is something related to time. So I am living here because I have time, right? So it's because of the kindness of the time I am alive, right? It's not like Yama or God or anything, it's time. So if I value that, if I respect that, and meanwhile if I am good to others, right? So the time is going to definitely help us. So that is, I don't know, it's kind of theory, and it has helped me in whatever little way I can. I am not a not like your big celebrities, but in little way whatever I have succeeded, it's because of not valuing time, like not in terms of like coming on time 10 o'clock 10, not like that. It's a deeper concept, the time. Got it? So that we have to understand. So all of us, we have limited time. Everybody has, and you can achieve that in shorter time. You can make it possible if you value the time, if you respect the time. You don't have to spend like 4 years, 5 years, anything, right? Be good, empower yourself, be prepared, and time will favor you. Your apna time aayega kya hai? Your time will come. Got it? So with respect to optional, if somebody, so the deadline is December, right? By December you should be in a position to write answers for optional questions, whether you are OGP student, IPM, core batch, doesn't matter. You have to be good in optional answer writing. So every day 3 hours constant. Some people ask me this question: how do we manage this discipline, timetable, right? So I ask again some very common question. Soon after you get up, what do you do? I mean, this thing. So you brush your teeth, right? Does anybody, your mom comes and wakes you up, go beta, brush your teeth? Do they do it? There is a slot, right? Like as soon as you wake up, you do it involuntarily, like nobody tells you. It's a very ordinary thing, like, so you will go and do it. The reason is, of course, right? So you want to be fresh when you come here, right? You want to feel fresh. I mean, think about hygiene. You are aware of it, right? Your mind is aware, your body is aware of it, which is something you do it. So that kind of habit, these things should become day-to-day basis. So this is your job, right? So put a slot in a day. So if you are going to wake up at 6 o'clock, let's say 6 to 8 hours, 6 to 8 o'clock, this is the slot for solving MCQs or something, right? So depending upon which course you have enrolled, what timetable you have, whether you are working or not working, you can put slots. Irrespective of where you are, what you are doing, that slot should be for that particular task, right? See, this is 1.5 year ka kaam. I mean, 1.5 years work. So after that you are free, you do like, whatever you want to do. Whichever job you get, there it will demand that its own discipline. You can have that. But this job, no. Like, when you become IAS, files will come to your home. Many people work from home. Many IAS officers. And we had Gurraj Karjagi sir as a speaker. So okay, you might have heard. He said the one thing that stuck to me. One incident he said. I don't quote incident. I'll just tell the crux. He said that when you are an IAS, IPS, or whatever officer, when a file comes in front of you, it is not a file, it is a life. He said it was like an eye opener. Like had never thought about. We knew had never thought from that perspective. That whenever a file comes in front of you, it is a life in front of you, right? Someone's entire life is dependent on that. So your decision, which can take hardly like few seconds, can change the life of that person, right? So in a small way, I try to live by that here. So if somebody comes to me, I don't delay it anything instantly. I will never tell people. I mean, it's something related to decision, something related to discount and other thing, course activation, this or anything. Some PG problems, girls, we close the PG now. So if it can be done instantly, we have to do it, right? With respect to preparation also. So if it is related to file, you do it because life is dependent. So with respect to CSAT, mains questions, your life, everyone's life is also dependent. Not in that sense, but it's in sense of fulfilling your life. So you want to give meaning to your life, purpose to life. So you are chasing certain dream, right? So be serious about it. So I think I talked about treating entire preparation as job, right? So optional, don't compromise, right? The fourth thing is once in a week you can give time to essay and ethics, right? Now people come and tell, like despite watching Balaji videos, my old videos, other toppers videos about how to write essay and all, I don't know how to write essay and all. I tell people you write nonsense, you write something, pick a very basic topic. So I had told other days some girl wrote just pollution and she wrote something and I really appreciated it. She wrote for the first time she is writing something, pollution. She wrote something about pollution, all the factual stuff. But she initiated, she started the OGP batch 3 student like 1 month ago, right? So there are people who will never start, and I am sure that girl will go on to write an excellent essay after like 4-5 months about any topic, right? So that kind of attitude is important. So pick up any random topic, start with very easy topic, right? This is must, because you have advantage either in essay or interview right now. In the current scheme of examination, you can have advantage in essay or in interview. Optional, almost the scores are getting equalized, right? It's very difficult to score 300 plus. In every optional, you have only 1 or 2 people, not like earlier times. So majority scores are stuck between 250 to 270, right? In each optional, like if you ask, highest score is like 306, 309, the next highest is around 280 or 270 something, right? So, and again that depends on your specialization in the optional. If you have read standard textbooks, right? If your knowledge is deep, then you can score better marks in optional. That depends on how you prepare. Like don't just rely on the coaching notes, right? In the beginning, that is the thing to do. Revise them, but when you start referring them, reading them, revising them, make sure that you also read standard textbooks, right? So this entire thing should be done by December. You can have buffer of maybe January, February also, but be ambitious and try to complete by December. Coaching plus answer writing. So daily one answer you can write if you want. So people ask, let coaching get over, I will start writing. So I will tell, if they are teaching one subject, one topic today, and that topic you pick up previous year question, write it. It's very simple, right? Will you do this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So all of you had breakfast, right? Yeah. So today we are not giving chocolate, like so. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow prelims is not there, right? somebody thanked me, like somebody said that, sir, your sentence that, it was like, I made it up. I told them Monday will definitely come, right? After Sunday I told them, I don't know, for somebody it really made a difference. I went by that, sir, like that tomorrow Monday will definitely come, and I cleared prelims, right? So sometimes things might appear very simple, right? So they can make difference. Now what will you do after January? So till December, optional. And these 30 MCQs, what I said, I gave the timeline. So till April you have to do it. Start with previous year question papers, then move to question banks. So we have our own question banks, right? Static compilations, and then other UPSC examinations, NDA, CDS, Indian Engineering Service, Indian Economic Service, CAPF. So all these question papers have objective questions. Start from now only, right? You will start seeing, interlinking between. So what was asked in NDA is asked in a more difficult way in the UPSC exam. What was asked in CDS, one more option is given and asked in UPSC Civil Services. Got it? So those exam question papers, once you exhaust them, all UPSC objective questions, all exams, then move to question banks, right? So this will further reinforce all your knowledge. More than that, it will strengthen that intuition part, and the skills will improve. So you will not be relying on any skills, any training given by any institution. You will develop your own way of solving the problem, both in CSAT and both in GS papers. And regular answer writing, you will evolve your own original way of writing answers. Essay also. And ethics, what you can do, you can take last 10-year question papers, right? So once in a week, you can write either 2 case studies or 2 section A answers. And if you are doing them in Bangalore, whenever I am here, your mentors are there, you can come and show to them, right? So these things should not stop by December or anything. All of them can continue till end of March, right? Now if you complete your optional by December, enroll for a test series in January. January, February, you write a test series. If you have already completed optional, coaching, everything done, enroll for a test series now. Paid test series now, unpaid in the month of December and January. 2 optional test series before prelims, so that after prelims you absolutely don't have any fear about optional, right? So that should be the target. So the completion of paper is challenging. Then completion of paper with quality answer is bigger challenge, right? See, all these things you can do it. You can actually do it, irrespective of where you come from, what kind of personality you have. If you are willing to learn, if you are willing to change yourself, you can go on to do these things. You may be absolute fresher also, right? Can you do it? Will you do it? Anybody who is not opening your mouth? Ego. Let it go. Right. Okay. So then, what else? Any doubts so far? Importance of revision. Yeah. So how will you revise? How many times you should revise? So whenever you do questions, current affairs RTM is a revision. Whenever you do MCQs related to what you are reading that day is again revision. And once in a week, if you are writing a test on that, again prelim test series, I forgot to say, prelims GS1 full length mocks start from now. Again, not from like January, February, start from now only. So when you do that full length mock, that is also another revision. When you write full length mains, that is also revision. So in IPM, like we have, I think, 3 iterations. So one revision of GS 1, 2, 3, 4 plus essay and another iteration. So if somebody joins that, 3 revisions will take place. So as I said, you can take the question paper, you can just follow the timetable of it also, right? You know very well, right? What happens to your own timetable? what happens? Hmm? Hmm? Is there anyone who has really followed your own timetable? Hmm? Has time been kind to you? Hmm? When you have your own timetable? So the simple logic is let decision making to others. Someone, you execute it. Right? The big burden is taken out of your mind is free to be creative, apply itself, do wonders. So when you are trying to struggle, planning everything, right? Outsource planning to someone else. Always. Whether it is perfect or imperfect, don't judge it. Follow it, still you will be a better person. So this you have to do it. Like again, if you try to do your own timetable and all, it won't work. Okay. So IPM timetable is there, Mission 2023 timetable is there. And then if you're somebody who is very ambitious, have completed everything, making of notes, optional is complete, one test series you are able to write, then you can write the core batch entrance. Right. So there will be a scholarship in July we are doing it, and then you can follow the core batch timetable. If you want to take time till October to complete these things, basics and optional, and then in October we are doing super core batch. So for that also you can write entrance. So even if you don't want to be part of the core batch, still come and write the entrance as a practice test, right? So wherever these tests are conducted, scholarship tests and all, just keep giving them. Okay. Hobbies. What hobbies you have? No. See, he's very intelligent. Like I've been telling, it's an integrated thing. Like he suddenly brought up. He's putting me in a fix now. I've already spent 12 hours now of your day. Now where to put this hobby? For that I can have answer like sleep 1 hour less. Pursue your hobby, like whatever it is. So last time I said bird watching. Similarly, everyone laughed. Right? I was about to complete sentence. Last time I said bird watching, everyone laughed. I gave a pause and here I got the answer. Right? So it's a very serious hobby. Which can get us more employees. Which can get insights, more employees. Some people understood it. Right. So hobbies are very important. Hobbies and interests. Even yesterday somebody asked this question from agriculture background. Right. So I told her two hobbies. Right. So every day, maybe half an hour, even if it is 15 minutes, spend reading about two things. Right. So when I said, because it was agri background, I said you can develop interest in something related to rural development. Another one is startups in agriculture or agriculture related entrepreneurship. Right. Now, similarly, everybody can explore your own, based on your optional, your education background, previous extracurricular activities, if you can continue them. Something related to, a topic which can start a conversation, discussion. When you put it in DAF, so maybe you can spend even time 10 minutes also every day, but it should be consistent on one particular thing. If you keep reading different things, you won't retain anything, right? So identify any two solid hobbies. You can something non-fiction related, or it can be fiction related also. For agri, I said these are like which will definitely evoke interest when you say that following startups in agriculture, right? Or reading about, or writing about, blogging about startups in agriculture. I am interested to have a conversation on that, right? So the board will definitely start conversation with that. So similarly, identify one or two things like that. So other agri students can think about other things now, not these two. There are so many things within agriculture, right? There are like so many subjects you've had within agriculture. So think on those lines. Something related to insects you can do. What is the hobby of? No. There is one entomology. Entomology. Hmm. So any other subtopics in agriculture which you have studied as part of? Hmm? Forestry and agri marketing. Very good. Yes, that can be another hobby or interest, right? So let it be one related to your graduation, another completely unrelated to your graduation. That is better. Combination of two. So better to start from now, like just like spend 10 minutes, read one article about it, make some points about it. So like this, if you do it like say 3-4 days in a week, by the time you write mains and start preparing for interview, you will have so many things to talk about it. So even yesterday when I was talking to toppers, I do this every year, those who clear mains. So because most of the people come after now you have to put hobbies after mains, getting mains result now. Earlier it used to be immediately after prelims result. Now it is changed. So you have very less time to prepare. That is another thing UPSC changed, because they knew that hobbies are manipulated, right? So people put something fake and then they come for interview. Now they are not giving you time, like 10-15 days, right? Which hobby you will put and prepare? It's very difficult. So then I will ask about them, like explore them. In which things you are good, what were your achievements, right? So what subjects you really liked most, so which kind of topics kindled your passion, like we do it, right? Like when you, even when you are scrolling news, you pause on certain news, may not be related to syllabus, whatever it is, so you read somebody, for somebody it can be international relations related to institutions, it can be archaeology, it can be some kind of culture related news, crime, sports, politics, whatever it is. So everybody has a liking for something. So on that, then we would discuss and make them put 1 or 2 hobbies. So yesterday I was having, like they were thanking, like, so the one you suggested, panel started asking questions on that. I was comfortable and I was able to score good marks. It happens in a very predictable way, but you should have passion in that. So you should be, because they will test it, the depth of it. So if you are not passionate about it, if you haven't done proper groundwork, you will not be able to do justice, and they will know that you have done it only to impress them or manipulate, then you will be punished. So hobbies and interest should come across as genuine and where you really have deep interest in them. Okay. So these are the things. So can anyone sum up? What did I say? CSAT, 2 tests in a week, right? 30 to 40 MCQs, 1 full length paper once in a week or once in 10 days, 2 secure answers. Within secure answer, 1 current answer, 1 static answer. Start with 2. Some people have the habit of writing 4, 5 also. Like if you start liking 2, some people, like for example, if you are spending 2 hours to write 2 answers, eventually you will be able to write 4 to 5 hours in 2 hours. All it takes is like 20 to 30 days of persistence. Whatever I have told, do it for 25 days continuously, right? You will continue with it. So don't have any excuse. So only if you really want to fail, if you really want to stay in Bangalore, enjoy weather, climate, this Chandra layout, spoil this Chandra layout. So don't do all these things. Have your own plan. Ultimately, see, you can customize, you can tweak these things according to it. Don't be rigid about it also, right? That is also important. In prelims, what is tested is your adaptability, right? Don't go with any fixed notion that I will attempt only 80-90 questions because it is getting me good marks in the mock test. You should go with the mindset that I will adapt according to difficulty level of the paper. So if it demands me to answer only 70, I will do only 70. If it is easy, I will do 90-95 also, right? Certain questions, science and tech, this kind of question, you will go with a fixed mindset. So don't develop any kind of predictable patterns like fixed formulas for anything. The qualities you said, application of mind, presence of mind, is the most important factor in this examination. That you have to develop really well, strengthen it. So that is only then you will be able to crack this exam, especially in interview. The presence of mind, you see, it is so beautifully designed, this exam, right? So you go there, you sit. So whatever you are doing in thousands of words, hundreds of words in mains, before prelims, you are reading so many sources. The answer is in front of you. You are eliminating it, and in mains you have to, write. You have so much of time to think and write so many things. But in interview, in a few seconds, you have to tell in very few words the most important things related to the question, right? Relevant to the question, which can kindle their interest. So you cannot develop that in a day or two, right? So if you treat it as one unit along with hobbies, writing, solving these papers, right? So then only you will be able to do it. You have to visualize that also, going to interview, right? So watch our video. That, what is its name? I forgot. Shed the noise. So in the end, the guy gives a smile. No, he goes to UPSC interview, and then so we actually thought about it so much to create that interview room. It is almost similar to the actual UPSC, not like other UPSC interview rooms you see in other videos, right? With so many cameras. So you have to visualize yourself going to give interview where you will score 200 plus. Got it? I have this dream. Somebody should, in every class I talk about it, first rank, right? Somebody from this classroom, those are watching in another classroom, you people, can it be done? It can be done. So we did it actually. Rank 5 came, like I was like dreaming, like rank 1 Jaydev will come, then we got rank 5. So he didn't get low marks, but that year somebody got more marks. So then this year, like Avinash was dreaming, like I was telling, top 10 I was telling everyone, right? So we have these like few students, whom we like really groom, push. So 1 year ago in Davangere, we had a session, I told in public. So this year Davangere will get a rank in top 10. So I was expecting his law marks to be 290 something. He scored 259. So if it was even 275, he would have been in top 10, right? So highest was 289 something in law optional. If he had scored even 275, he would have been in top 10. With 290 something, rank 2 or rank 3, he would have got it. Then even more admissions. See, the marks have really huge impact. You should worry about these things. Now some sadists will be there. No, I won't score more marks. They will get more admissions. Right? Some extreme cases in Nimans maybe. Not here. Right. So any doubts? So we'll conclude. So people expect formulas here. I don't give formulas in my classes. I tell things that are difficult to implement. I tell things that people have done in the past who have seen the results. And for sure, I know everyone is not going to do this. 100%. It's a fact. It's a universal truth. But if somebody does, any one of you, if you do all of them, right, will come and hug me, in felicitation. Right. So boys are like smiling like, so girls will also hug. It's a friendly hug maybe. In Karnataka, girls don't hug. Right. No, I'm just like in a friendly way I'm talking about it, right? So that is what will happen. You will, two cases. There are people who come and thank saying that your tips helped. There are people, you actually told these things, I didn't follow them, right? I should have followed. Now I'll come and follow from now onwards, right? So you choose which category you want to be, right? So no doubts. Did you get what you wanted to hear? Did you get the solution? Yes. Yeah. So that I am not talking about is editorials you must read compulsorily. The reason you must read editorials is it helps your comprehension skills also, it helps your vocabulary and then your understanding of the issue in an analytical way. That is compulsory. Don't never skip your editorials, right? Somebody has classes or what? So never skip your editorials. That is like up to you, like it's a quick way to revise if you want. If you are skipping some days current affairs, you can revise through weekly. So if you are revising, some people used to do that. I have seen that some people would never read newspaper daily, but they would read editorial. Current affairs they would revise weekly or monthly compilations. They will fix 2 to 3 days for that and would revise them like 2 to 3 times. Right. It depends. If you're following secure and if you're following quiz, need not read everyday current affairs. You can just glance through monthly current affairs just to see if anything is missing from secure and all. But I've seen people doing secure regularly and current affair quiz are already good in current affairs. Hmm. So our question is this journey is pretty long, so it will have its lows and highs. How will you quickly overcome these lows and highs? Happens to everyone, right? Every day is not same. Someday you are like pumped up, like you read for a few days, and another day you don't feel like doing anything. Some people continue to be like that. Some people somehow pick up and start doing them. So how do you do that? How do you overcome that? The low feeling, demotivation, underconfidence, and then you bounce back and start being consistent again. Hmm? Any formula? How do you do that? Hmm? Hmm. Good. Hmm. ठीक है. Like for some people there are like 4 attempts, 3 attempts, 5 attempts. So for whom it has been a long journey. So I know one solution for that. So one solution is being accountable to someone. You have to be accountable to someone trustworthy, somebody who really cares, somebody who has interest in your success. It can be parents, it can be brothers, sisters, it can be friends, it can be mentors, it can be your teachers, right? To one person you have to be accountable. So once in a week, once in 10 days or something like that, you come to them, right? Tell them what you have been doing, right? Or if you're feeling low, come and talk about that also. Actually that helps, right? So when you put it out and then you realize that you're wasting time, you realize that you're feeling light now, and then you'll go back and study. It's all about small things, human things, which we don't like. We keep suffering inside, we don't open up, we start assuming people will judge us, right? So we think that people will label us something like this. It's not like that. So you can come share like in my cabin, right? So what I have heard like every kind of stories, and I have not revealed them to anyone. I mean the very personal things. Any general things which can be relatable to you, I talk about them. But like I am kind of a storehouse, I don't share with even my wife also, right? It's kind of storehouse of stories. So all kinds of everybody, like it's so fascinating journey. So through that I have learnt about human minds, personalities. Someday maybe I would like to write about these things if when my English gets better. to improve my English, I started tweeting, further. I used to write well, then in meantime I forgot how to write. We tell only to write people, it's easy to judge. And then started tweeting to get better in writing. So, want to write about it. Everybody has, nobody is perfect, everybody, the toppers who have become, they look like, something different, but they used to be like you. Still they are like you only, but it's society treating them in a special way, they look different. Right? When you're close to them, you know that they are still imperfect. Right? So it happens to everyone. So understand these basic things. You're not alone, like you don't feel that it is only happening to you, only in your case, it is happening. Never assume like that, never think like that. And there is solution to every problem. Every problem has a solution. It is just that we don't seek it, right? We don't talk about it. So once you start doing that, so that is where personality comes into picture. I mean, it's so crystal clear. Your attitude, personality, if you can change it. I mean, this is changing for the better, right? I'm not asking you to be like too extrovert or something like mad or anything. So talk about things that you are going through, good things or bad things, and be willing to learn. Be very clear about your goal. And the toppers, I said only 3 things when I entered them. So even for toppers, so all 120 plus people. Number 1, I told you are already successful. So use that success to make others successful. So your success doesn't end with getting rank. So now we're in a position to help so many. It can be giving education to your own poor relatives, right? It can be helping your friends who are still struggling with the preparation, right? Tomorrow when you get into the office, go to the office, helping thousands of people. Second thing I told them is be humble. Stay humble all the time, right? So by only staying humble, you can learn. If humility is not there, you can never learn. So I told them, don't let it go to head. Third one I said is keep learning, keep reading. We gave them books, two books. In Felicitation, we gave them one plaque, their name, and also we added one more thing. To their names, we added one more thing, their parents' names. The proud daughter of, the proud son of their parents. So nobody had done that, they really felt happy about it. So because your journey, your success is not yours alone, right? So there are many people who have contributed. So we added their parents' name also, and then we gave books. No money, nothing. Some people actually give money. There are institutions who give them money, who sponsors their tours, travels, just for them to give one testimonial or something that they were their students. So nowadays, what I am seeing is that last 2 to 3 years, before like 2017, many toppers used to do that. Now that numbers have reduced. People who are getting selected are largely good nowadays. That is one really good thing about. I mean, see, what is happening is in a good way. The way exam is changing, the way they are selecting good candidates, right? Some people, last year one person didn't come to Felicitation. He said, so if I come, other institution will also invite. Where I've been beneficiary, I would not like to come or anything. I really respected it, right? So, I mean, that is like extreme thing. He would have definitely come, but maybe he was not aware of how we were going to celebrate it, right? Good. So visualize all of them, all these things, so that rank, giving interview, writing mains, succeeding in prelims, and then everything starts from today. Okay. Anything else? So we'll wind up. What? So we are starting Ignites. Yes. So we are already looking for guests. So we can invite Gurraj Karjagi sir also for you. So we'll be starting them. So we're planning we have to, I think, go for a bigger hall or something. Mostly. Right. Good. So everything is clear? So you have clear head now, like what to do. Hmm? So think about your hobbies now. So don't ignore that part. Hmm? So go, do well in this exam. Do well every day. Take care of your health. Don't do anything at the cost of health. Hmm? Okay. So wish you all the best. Thank you.